Good afternoon again. It's Archivist David Thomas at the Record Office here at Truro as we prepare to pack up the archives and move to our new premises at Redruth. You'll see behind me we have a lot of boxes that are for that particular purpose. No, they're not zoo animals. They are proper archive boxes all ready to pack up. And as we sort of pan around the room, we can just see some of the material that's being processed and cleaned and packaged preparatory for the move. We have some registers of bands and we have some marriage records here. So a lot of work is going on to prepare for the move to Redruth, where we hope to open in the middle of next year. While all that process has been actually going on, one of our archive assistants, Katrina, actually came across some very interesting records as she was packing them up. And on the table we've got one of the minute books of the staffing committee of the Cornwall Education Committee from the Cornwall Council, as it was. And we have quite a bit of detail in there about teachers as they're leaving particular schools during the Great War to go to France to fight. Just looking down some of the names from the Camborne Redruth area, we have, for example, Mr. W.P. Simons of Poole, who's joining the 1st 5th Battalion of the Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry. We have Mr. E. Thorne of Trewergy School, who had in fact enlisted quite early on in September 1914. And they record that his present regiment is not known. We have J.S. Oates of Blackwater, Mr. Kara of Reskeer School, and different people there are all listed. The detail's quite good, so we can pick up which regiments they're actually going on into to serve in the army over in France. And then further on in the book, we also have staff changes recorded. If your ancestor was perhaps a teacher and worked in the education system for the old Cornwall County Council, these are the sort of records that you might find fascinating, and they give precise information when people came and when they left. For example, we have Miss I. Richards here of the Bassett Road School, who resigned on the 31st of October 1919. So it's a type of records that can be useful for family and social history. Last week we actually looked at school logbooks, and Katrina also picked up some information from some of those, and this relates to the logbook of the Trewergy School at Redruth. And for here we see, for example, Mr. Trend is absent on leave today. He goes to Bodmin to be examined by the army doctors. This is preparatory to entering the forces. And if we turn on in the same Trewergy school logbook, Mr. Rogers, student teacher, has been called up for military training and he leaves school this afternoon. He has been of great help indeed. And then we turn on a bit. Mr. Trend, who was released from the army, the same man we saw just now a few days ago, returned to school this morning. I've given him charge of Standard 5 for the time being. So you get a really good picture of what's actually going on in the particular school. In the same logbook, it does actually also refer to the death of Mr. E. Thorne, who we saw in the other book. So it's quite interesting sometimes to cross-reference particular records to gain a better picture of what's going on within particular families and within the education system, and also in this year of the centenary of the end of the First World War, the terrible conflict that was coming to an end at that time 100 years ago. If you're coming to look at these records next year, we hope you'll gain a lot more information about your family and your social history in a Cornish context. We look forward to seeing you next year when we're open again in our new premises.